From the KSPS PBS studios, it's Inland Sessions.
I drove these earthbound wheels on a southbound highway.
Traveling folk singer Hank Cramer found his way into the KSPS PBS studios. From sea shanties to cowboy songs,
Just a jangling for old Santa Fe.
to Celtic ballads to original folk tunes.
From Galway to Dublin town. Oh, you
There's nothing this traveling troubadour doesn't cover.
the Renegades. Well, hi. My name is Hank Cramer. I'm a traveling folk singer from a little town called Winthrop, Washington. I love all kinds of folk music. That's the songs, the music that common everyday people make for themselves. And I love all kinds of folk music. I love Celtic ballads. I like sea shanties. I've worked on the tall ships. I like cowboy songs. I've done some wrangling. And I write some songs. So KSPS has very kindly invited me here to perform today. And I'll do you a little bit of all those things I mentioned. I'll start out with a cowboy song, a very old one called the Santa Fe Trail. And in it, a cowboy is describing in a song the prettiest young lady he's ever seen in his life. That's a great topic for love songs, by the way. And if you think cowboys are ignorant and illiterate, there's great poetry in here. Listen for it. Hey, friend, have you sighted a schooner alongside the Santa Fe Trail? It may get here Monday or sooner. Out of water keg tied to its tail. There was Ma and Pa on the mule seat, and somewheres along on the way rode a chestnut-haired gal on her pinto, just a jangling for old Santa Fe. Yo-ho, just a jangling for old Santa Fe. That's your part. You can sing that at home if you like. Yo-ho, just a jangling for old Santa Fe. Well, I seen her ride down in the Arroyo and crossed on the Arkansas sand. She had a smile like an acre of sunflowers and a quirt in her pretty brown hand. She mounted her pony so airy, and she rode like she carried the mail, and her eyes set fire to the prairie alongside the Santa Fe Trail. Yo-ho, alongside the Santa Fe Trail. Now I once knew a gal on the border that I'd ride to El Paso to sight. And I've danced in some high-step in order. And I've sometimes kissed some gals goodnight. Good Lord, they're all ruffles and pigtails, and they drink sweetened tea by the pail. Well, I ain't used to that kind of stampeding alongside the Santa Fe Trail. Yo-ho, alongside the Santa Fe Trail. Don't forget, you're supposed to sing that at home. Well, I don't know her name on the prairie, and when you're hunting one girl, it's so wide, and it's shorter from hell to Hilaria than it is on this Santa Fe ride. But I'll reach the crossing by sundown, where a camp can be made in the swale, and I'll find that gal on her pinto alongside the Santa Fe Trail. Yo-ho, alongside the Santa Fe Trail. That chestnut-haired gal on her pinto alongside the Santa Fe Trail. Being a folk singer has opened up a lot of doors for me in life. You could say that a good folk singer is welcome wherever he wants to go. But when I was young, when I was a teenager, I learned to sail a little single-masted sloop. I got pretty good at it. Later on, I began to sing sea shanties, the working songs from the days of sail. They say from the days of wooden ships and iron men. They were working songs to keep people in time. Well, I got invited to go out on square-rigged tall ships, and not only sail, but sing the work songs to get the jobs done. That could be hoisting the anchor, hauling away on the halyards, pumping the ship, a lot of different kinds of work. Got to go to Baltimore, Maryland, one of the sailing capitals of the East Coast, and there's a very popular shanty back there called Johnny Come Down to Hilo. They've been singing it there for about 200 years. It's one of my favorites. Goes like this. I met a girl in Baltimore. I kissed her twice, come back for more. Johnny come down to Hilo, poor old man. That gal, she sure looked good to me, 'cause I'd been 6 months out to sea. Johnny come down to Hilo, poor old man. I'll wake her, I'll shake her, I'll wake that gal with the blue dress on. Johnny come down to Hilo, poor old man. I waltzed her up, I waltzed her down, I waltzed her round and round the town. Johnny come down to Hilo, poor old man. There ain't but one thing grieves my mind, to leave that Fells Point girl behind. Johnny come down to Hilo, poor old man. Oh, wake her, I'll shake her, I'll wake that gal with the blue dress on. Johnny come down to Hilo, poor old man. Have you ever made chate in Chesapeake Bay, loose on a town with 3 months' pay? Johnny come down to Hilo, poor old man. Have you ever made port in Baltimore, where you dance all night on a sandy floor? Johnny come down to Hilo, poor old man. Oh, wake her, I'll shake her, I'll wake that gal with the blue dress on. Johnny come down to Hilo, poor old man. Have you ever sailed up to Dundee, prettiest ship you'll ever see? Johnny come down to Hilo, poor old man. Have you ever dropped hook in Aberdeen, prettiest girls I've ever seen? Johnny come down to Hilo, poor old man. Oh, wake her, I'll shake her, I'll wake that gal with the blue dress on. Johnny come down to Hilo, poor old man. Oh, wake her, I'll shake her, I'll wake that gal with the blue dress on. Johnny come down to Hilo, poor old man. You! And that's how you'd set sail in the old days. A good old sea shanty. I'm going to do an original song now. There's a lot of different genres within folk music, Celtic, cowboy, sea shanties. I mentioned those. A lot of folk singers write almost all their own music, and they generally get called a singer or songwriter. Well, I don't call myself that because I sing a lot of songs from the public domain, and I sing a lot of songs by good songwriters that I know. But I do write a fair number of songs, and I was asked for this program if I'd share some original music. So this song to me is kind of like the Field of Dreams. This is a love song that I wrote some years ago, and I hadn't met my wife yet, but I wrote this love song. Then I met Kit. We've been married for 25 years now. So it's kind of like Field of Dreams. If you write it, they'll come, or she'll come, I guess. I drove these earthbound wheels on a southbound highway, Seattle down to Santa Fe. I got thinking about you, so I sent you a postcard from a truck stop on the way. Here's a hug for Rob, and here's a kiss for Annie. Say hi to the rest of the crew. I couldn't think of what to say besides have a nice day. You know I kinda like you. Hey, I kind of like you. Well, don't you go thinking this is some kind of love song. I don't write those anymore. I got my heart busted by someone I trusted, and she gave it back broken and sore. And now when love seems near, I steer clear. I say I'm just passing through. I don't fall in love anymore, but I kinda like you. Hey, I kinda like you. Da-da-dum, Da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-da-dum. I don't fall in love anymore, but I kinda like you. Hey, I kinda like you. My friends tell me someday I'll find the right woman. I just tell them they're crazy, 'cause if I ever laid this old heart down again, I swear it won't come easy. She'd have to be someone who's gentle and kind. She'd be heartful and true. She'd have music in her voice. She'd have magic in her eyes. She'd be kinda like you. She'd be kinda like you. She'd be kinda like you. Exactly like you. In the traditional folk songs that I sing, I love Celtic ballads. I'm mostly of Irish descent with some Scottish blood mixed in there. They've given us some great songs over the years. And I'll tell you a little thing about traditional music. Sometimes the best traditional songs are 200 or 300 years old. And then another wrinkle to that, sometimes the melodies have been popular for 200 or 300 years, but every generation or so, people make up a better set of words to match what they're going through. Well, this is a song called The Star of the County Down. The version I'm going to sing for you is about 100 years old. The melody's probably 250 years old. It shows up in a lot of old Irish songs. But in this song, The Star of the County Down, this young man sees the prettiest girl he's ever seen in his life, a recurring theme in love songs, and he's so excited that he asks someone, "What's her name?" And the fella responds, "Oh, she's so beautiful that we just call her the Star of the County Down." Near Banbridge town in the county down, one morning last July, down a Boreen Green come a sweet Colleen. She smiled as she passed me by, and she looked so sweet from her two bare feet to the sheen of her nut brown hair. Such a coaxing elf, I pinched myself to see was I really there. From Mantry Bay to Derry Quay, from Galway to Dublin town, no maid I've seen like the sweet Colleen. I'm mad in the county down. As she onward sped, I turned my head, I looked with a feeling rare, and I says I, to a passer-by, "Who's the maid with the nut brown hair?" He smiled at me and he said he, "That's the gem of old Ireland's crown. Young Rosie McCann from the banks of the Bann, she's the star of the county down. From Mantry Bay to Derry Quay, from Galway to Dublin town, no maid I've seen like the sweet Colleen. I'm mad in the county down." At the harvest fair, so sure be there, I'll dress in my Sunday clothes, with my shoes shone bright and my hat cocked right, for a smile from my nut brown rose. No pipe will smoke, no horse I'll yoke, to my plough sits a rust-colored brown. And my darling bride by my own fireside sits the star of the county down. From Mantry Bay to Derry Quay, from Galway to Dublin town, no maid I've seen like the sweet Colleen. I'm mad in the county down. From Mantry Bay to Derry Quay, and from Galway to Dublin town, no maid I've seen like the sweet Colleen, that I'm mad in the county down. I played at the Spokane Fall Folk Festival, and that's always held over the Veterans Day weekend. And I am a veteran myself, and I lost my father in Vietnam. And so I always do at least one veteran song when I'm performing at the Spokane Fall Festival. And this is one that I sang this year. It's called Touch a Name. And I have to talk about the songwriter a little bit. It's a fellow from Minnesota named Joel Mabus, and he wrote this very compelling song about a Vietnam veteran who comes to that black granite Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C., and it's a tremendously emotional experience for him. But as he approaches the wall, he realizes that you can't just look and read the names. You are compelled to touch the names of the people you know. And as you're looking at their names, you're seeing your reflection in the black marble of the wall. And the thing that amazed me when I heard Joel Mabus sing the song is that he's not a veteran. He never served in the military. He did not go to Vietnam, but he's an excellent songwriter, excellent to the point that he could internalize the emotions of someone who went through a totally different life experience than himself and write a song like this. So it's called Touch a Name. It means a great deal to me. I travel back to the Vietnam Veterans Memorial every 2 to 3 years. I've been asked to sing this song at the wall several times. It's always a very powerful experience for me. Written from the viewpoint of a returning veteran of the war. I guess you could call it our summer of freedom. It was the year that we both turned 18. We were straight out of high school. We hitchhiked to Denver. Man, we were a sight to be seen. That was the summer you dated my sister till they took us away in the fall. And I just want to tell you how much I still miss you as I touch your name on the wall. Touch your name on the wall. Touch your name on the wall. God help us all. I touch your name on the wall. I still wear my fatigues every time I come down here to remember these men that I knew. I touch every name of the men from my company. Read them out loud when I do. Most people tell me that you all died for nothing. I can't agree. Touch this name right here. He didn't die for that country. He died for me. Touch his name on the wall. Touch his name on the wall. God help us all. Touch a name on the wall. Touch a name on the wall. Touch a name on the wall. God help us all. Touch a name on the wall. Usually walls, they're put up for division. They're to separate me from you. And so God bless a wall that can bring us together and remind us of all we went through. And I curse all the liars and the tin-plated heroes who traded on the blood of these men. God grant us the courage to stand up and tell them, never again touch a name on the wall. Touch a name on the wall. God help us all. Touch a name on the wall. Touch your name on the wall. Touch your name on the wall. God help us all. Touch your name on the wall. I've been singing sea shanties for about 40 years. It's always been one of my favorite forms of music, but the general public didn't share that. You had to go to a seaport somewhere or hang out with a certain group of people to hear a sea shanty get sung. Those were the work songs from the days of sail. They were always a cappella, no instrumental accompaniment, because you needed both hands to do the work aboard the ship. Well, things changed during the COVID years. All the COVID restrictions got put out. You couldn't go to a theater, couldn't go to a restaurant, couldn't go to a pub. Live music for public performance kind of came to a halt. So everybody's at home singing for their own entertainment. And people discovered things like TikTok. And next thing I knew, there were like some Scottish fellows who went on TikTok and they sang an old sea shanty called the Wellerman. And before I knew it, everybody in the world seemed to be singing a sea shanty, even if the Wellerman was the only one they knew. Well, hey, that's great. If it introduces the whole world to sea shanties, it's a good thing. I'll share the song with you, but I expect you to follow along at home. You know the chorus because you watch it on TikTok as well. Join me and we'll get going. Soon may the Wellerman come, bringing us sugar and tea and rum. Someday when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. There once was a ship, and she sailed the sea. The name of the ship was a Billy O'Tay. The wind blew hard, the bow dipped low. Blow me, bully boys, blow. Huh! Soon may the Wellerman come, bringing us sugar and tea and rum. Someday when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. We had not sailed 2 weeks from shore when a right whale down on us did bore. The captain called to the crew and swore he'd take that whale in tow. Huh! Soon may the Wellerman come, bringing us sugar and tea and rum. Someday when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Our boat, it had not hit the water when the whale's tail it came up and caught her. The crew, they grabbed harpoons and fought her. She dove down below. Huh! Soon may the Wellerman come, bringing us sugar and tea and rum. Someday when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. No line was cut, no whale was freed. The crew pursued, but not from greed. Our captain hove to the whaler's creed. Blow me, bully boys, blow. Huh! Soon may the Wellerman come, bringing us sugar and tea and rum. Someday when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Soon may the Wellerman come, bringing us sugar and tea and rum. Someday when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Huh! This is a song called Running with the Renegades. Many, many years ago, I had a music partner in Colorado. We played great gigs all over the Rocky Mountains, and then circumstances forced us to go our own ways, and he was kind of the wild kind, and from time to time I worried about what might have become of him over the years. And the good side of the story is we ended up reuniting up here in Washington State, where he worked as a horse wrangler for a while. So anyway, in the meantime, when I didn't know where he was or what had become of him, I wrote a song called Running with the Renegades, which was kind of my farewell song to this fellow Robbie, who was my old music partner. That's enough talking. The song goes like this. You can only fight so hard, and you can only run so long. You find that no one listens to a lonesome rambler's song. And the road that lies before you, that was any path you choose, Way back then we still believed we'd fight and never lose. You're still running with the Renegades, still riding hard against the wind. Oh, you're still running with the Renegades. For all it's worth, I hope you win. When I first crossed your path, you were running wild and free. Any place you'd never been was the place you longed to be. And the highway to tomorrow, that was any path you choose. Oh, way back then we still believed we'd fight and never lose. You're still running with the Renegades, still riding hard against the wind. You're still running with the Renegades. For all it's worth, I hope you win. There's a pass in Colorado where the outlaw trails did part. One road east and one road west, each following his heart. Me, I found my answers, and I finally settled down. But the last I heard of you, they said you're still just rambling round. You're still running with the Renegades, still riding hard against the wind. You're still running with the Renegades. For all it's worth, I hope you win. For all it's worth, I hope you win.